24 Karat Orange. Media support provided by Behind the Badge OC.
My name is Bob Helgeson, and as Class 20 President of the Citizens Academy, I welcome you to our graduation.
Congratulations, sir. Face this camera over here.
Turn sideways, everybody.
My name is Kimberly Sawyer. I am a crime prevention specialist. I work for the Orange County Sheriff's Department, assigned to the city of Laguna Niguel. I've been doing this for 27 years. We're responsible for a wide range of community outreach programs, and Citizens Academy is just one of them that's available at our disposal. Currently, Laguna Niguel is the only city within our 13 contract cities that is actually doing that. The county has one that they do that encompasses the entire county as a whole. It's an 8-week program, and they focus mostly on the residents that aren't in Laguna Niguel because they're not offered the program. This is an opportunity for us to do some community outreach, to engage the individuals within the community who are interested in learning a little bit more about what it is we do and why we do what we do. Instead of kind of being that backup quarterback that's always on the background and just kind of saying, you should do this, why didn't you do your job this way? Well, this is an opportunity for you to come see what it is we do as part of our job on a day-to-day basis and ask those questions that you've been intrigued by. Our hope is that they will go tell their neighbor and the neighbor down the street and maybe a coworker, and then the word will continue to spread, shedding hopefully a positive light on our agency. Every year, this is my 4th year doing it for this city, and every year it's been different. I try to change the curriculum up kind of as what fits with the trends that are going on right now.
I'm the lead supervisor here in the city, so I kind of oversee everything. So I'm kind of in charge. I'm also the old guy. So the old guy comes in and the old guy tells all the stories, like give my experiences, and I'm the safety officer to make sure everything's safe. I just kind of oversee everything though. They run the show, I look good at the end. I pass out certificates. Biggest thing that I hope to get out of this program is these are all of our ambassadors basically for the city. Law enforcement isn't always viewed as positive. This is a positive interaction. They get to go on ride-alongs with people. They get to talk to the cops. They get to see the things that we go through. They can at least explain, hey, look, the cops are doing this. They got to make a split-second decision. They practice this, and you don't know what kind of stress they were under. It's a great thing for the citizens just to see as well as promote for us. But they are truly our biggest advocates.
CSI Lab, something we did a little bit different this year. Normally we have them come to us with one of their vans and they open it up and let us see all their tools. But this time we decided to go to them and spend a little bit more time and kind of get hands-on with their lab. So we got to see where all that evidence goes. They did explain to us that they don't solve crime in 10 minutes or 30 minutes like they show on the television, that it's usually weeks, sometimes months. But they went over all the different types of forensics that they can be involved in or have been involved in, and how many of those cases are solved right there out of that CSI lab. So that was really interesting. That was my first time doing that particular presentation. That was new.
So rubber, we call them lamels, and so I think it's recycled tires. It's not just that sheet that we're shooting into. That's kind of, those lamels were so hard when we put them in a few years ago that we were getting some 22s and some 38s coming back on us. So we dropped the drapes in front of that to stop any kind of ricochet coming back.
The next week we do is DUI. And that is a class on its own. We spend quite a bit of classroom time discussing what we're looking for. Our deputies do a lot of training, on duty and off duty, taking classes and things like that. Most of them are considered experts. They can pinpoint somebody driving down the street. You and I would have no idea. We'd think, oh, it's somebody out for a leisurely drive home and after work, and they're like, no, that guy's drunk, and I guarantee you he's going to blow this into the breathalyzer. And 9 times out of 10, they're spot on. It's amazing. It's definitely a talent. There's a structured set of field sobriety tests that a deputy will do before they make an arrest for DUI, and there's so many components that go into that. It's not just one thing. It's not just a breath test. It's not just, saying the alphabet or any of those things. So we go over those tests with them. It's not a secret. We're not trying to hide it. You can Google it and you get this information too. So it's not a secret. It's out there. If you choose to drink alcohol and drive a car, you can't say you didn't know, because the information is everywhere. And then we do what's called a wet lab. So I have 2 individuals, and I try to get 2 individuals that are very different in size, demeanor, the whole 9 yards, and they're actually in a separate location drinking. It's very controlled. It's monitored. We keep track of it on a board. Every 30 minutes, they have to drink a certain amount, and we do a breathalyzer test and we document that. So we're watching their progression. And when they get to a certain point, we know, okay, they're going to be at least a 0.08 for the next 2 hours or higher at times. We then bring them down to the class and we conduct the field sobriety test with them so they can see how they're conducted and how these individuals are not going to pass these tests. And then they are then given an opportunity to do the test, to administer the test themselves. So they can see, we talk about the nystagmus where the eyes are twitching, and so they have an opportunity to actually do that on somebody who's definitely a 0.08 or higher, and they get to see exactly what we're talking about.
What's that like, trying to walk with the goggles?
It's hard to describe because I felt completely off balance, and certainly I would never want to drive at that level of being drunk, because it was I had no control of my body. I really didn't. I mean, I would have fallen over if I hadn't touched the wall a few times.
Do you live here in Laguna?
Yes, I do. I live in Laguna Niguel.
Okay. What are you hoping to take away from this whole experience?
Well, I have a really positive view of law enforcement. I'm on our board in our community, and I just really wanted to get more involved in the city, and I'm hoping actually to volunteer with police services after I'm finished the course.
Can you try to describe that experience for me?
Well, the line was curved, and these things really make you feel woozy, and I couldn't keep a straight line, so it was pretty bad.
What is it that you really hope to accomplish from coming to these courses?
Well, learn everything that these people go through, and also the fact that I have a grandson-in-law who's an officer in Laguna Beach. He went through the real academy, and I just wanted to get a feeling of some of what he did.
Wow, that is much harder than it looks.
Walking with the goggles was a lot like being or turning right the whole time. When I would look down, I would expect to see my feet in a certain area, especially on the line. However, everything was off to the left about 1.5 feet. So I constantly kept trying to compensate, which made me feel like I was falling over.
The different scenarios that we experienced in the parking lot were each unique and fascinating. Learned a lot. Found appreciation for a police officer and their job, and what it must feel like for them when they pull you over, and never knowing what that person's gonna be like or what the encounter is gonna experience.
One of my favorite modules is the car stop scenarios. The reason the car stop scenarios is we do about 6 or 7 scenarios at one time. We bring back the alumni to come up and act. So we mix the alumni with the new people. We don't give them much training, believe me, in this class. We don't give them enough training, and that's one of their big complaints is, man, you talk to me for like 30 minutes about what a car stop is, and then you expect me to go out there. I got killed 15 times. The people ran away from me. I didn't know what to do. Car stops aren't always like that. Car stops aren't always crazy and out of control, but they can be. That's most of the time what we see on the news is the guy pulls out a gun and shoots at the cop. The guy runs away from the cop. The car crashes and they're pulling people out of the car. But the car stop scenarios kind of just gives you a different perspective.
It was surprising how misconceiving people's appearance could be, and you would never think a 70-year-old grandma that appeared to be would be the one that would shoot and kill you. Yeah, I actually died twice. I think the second time I was walking close enough to the vehicle as instructed, where I think I might have missed the range of being shot, but most definitely the grandma shot.
That's probably one of my favorite things to kind of teach and instruct on, because it's also one of our dangerous things, and we kind of just show them these are dangerous. Even when there's no state law out here. In other states they have state laws that when there's an emergency vehicle on the side of the road, you'll get in the other lane. Give them space. Maybe even that little bit of education they'll learn to give us a little space.
Well, when he pulls somebody over, you just think, it's just a guy speeding. But I mean, it opened your eyes to a lot of things. I mean, there's grannies with guns. There's violent drunks. You just never know. So I guess there's no such thing as a routine stop when you see some of the possibilities, and it's scary, to be honest with you.
You just never know. It's the unexpected that these police officers always encounter when they walk up to a car. And just people's attitude toward, I know it was all make-believe and make-play, but they say this is typical, what people's attitude is toward them and what they have to deal with, and just trying to keep us safe.
Well, the first place we visited was the psych ward, and there were some scary-looking individuals there. And I guess I was talking with the deputy, and one of the guys was like a huge bodybuilder, and he had already broken a couple arms and legs of deputies. So I think I want to stay out of the psych ward of jail.
That's always an interesting tour. I think they think I'm kidding when I tell them that we are going to collect their phones, their cell phones, their wallets. It's a federal offense to carry a cell phone into a jail facility anyways. So our deputies can't carry a gun or a cell phone into a jail facility. I'm not going to let the general public do that and violate policy as well. They would go to jail just like we would. So they think I'm kidding, and I stand at the bus with my bag and I go, I need everything. I need your keys, your wallet, your ID, everything. So that's a real eye-opener. It's kind of that scared straight. The majority of the people that go through the class have never experienced anything like that before. So that's a huge eye-opener for them.
Yeah, there was like a glass enclosure that's kind of, it's like a smoke glass, so they could see a shadowy figure, but they really couldn't see you face to face. But when we were in the area where they were just freshly arrested, they were right there. You could see them. They were just in the little holding cells when they were just arrested. So, drunk driving or whatever, they were just picked up. You could see them very closely. We went to the general, and then we went to, looked at the cafeteria and saw how they feed them and why it's so dangerous. And I think that's the most dangerous part, is shifting them in and into the cafeteria. And then we just looked at some of the private areas, and the deputies have a weight room there. And that was it.
We went on the harbor tour, so they got to go out in the 2 different harbors that we patrol for the county and see what a patrol deputy out on the water does.
Class was divided in 2 groups. One went to Dana Point, one went to Newport Beach. I went to Newport. The harbor group has 3 stations: Dana Point, Newport Beach, and Sunset. I didn't know there was one in Sunset. Our guide had been in the harbor patrol for 16 years. We then got the tour of the harbor, Newport Harbor, which has a lot of famous housing there. John Wayne's house. I've been on several harbor trips to hornblowers and such, and renting Duffy boats, and But I think this trip that we did with our harbor patrol master was much better than that.
Neither one of us got any calls, so it was uneventful, but it was just a nice, pretty night. Good weather, so we appreciated that. Got to see lots of seals and things like that. Throughout this whole process, there's about a 2-month opportunity within 2 months for them to go on individual ride-alongs, and they get to go for about 6 hours each. They're assigned to a deputy. Sometimes it's nothing, they don't get any calls, and they're just treated to a nice lunch. Other times they get to roll code 3, lights and sirens, they get to make an arrest, they see somebody pulled over and taken out of the car at gunpoint, go to jail and see the whole booking process. That makes for a really, really great ride-along.
So I was slated to go with Deputy Odo on a Saturday evening, and I was sitting we're supposed to meet him here in the parking lot, and I was sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. Turned out she had gotten a call, and so when I spoke with dispatch, they mentioned that I might be going out with a different deputy. Turns out someone came, picked me up, and took me to her. The reason why she was on a call and would be there for a while, unfortunately, it was an overdose death of a 42-year-old male in the city. And so I was there. It took several hours while the coroner came and did their report and investigation. And so we finished up probably 2.5 hours later. So she was there for quite a while. After that, we then got on the normal, dispatch call kind of queue, so to speak. Since Saturday night, there were tons of noise complaints, which I found interesting. In Laguna Niguel, as we pulled up to the locations, really couldn't hear the music outside, so you kind of wonder, and most of them were anonymous. Maybe they weren't afraid of their neighbors or something. And then we did get an exciting call. We got to do lights and sirens. There was a fire at Cabot in Crown Valley at the new apartment complex. A 20-something girl thought that you made the prepackaged cookie dough by leaving it in the plastic and sticking the whole log in the oven. And it proceeded to produce quite a fire. They thankfully didn't spread, but it smoked out the entire floor and most of the building. So there were seven fire engines and a bunch of police cars, because the police come with the first responders to help secure scenes if there's any sort of issues with individuals, trying to keep them from getting in there.
I've had many adrenaline jumps in this whole experience here.
I enjoy the night that we go to the range because I get to shoot. Some of them have never shot a gun before, so that's always interesting to see their reactions. And coupled with that, we do the Force Options Simulator that night as well, and that's always a lot of fun. It's like a big video game where they hand you the fake gun, the laser gun, and you have to shoot the bad guy or not shoot the bad guy. And as it unfolds, you have a split second to make a decision. It's a real eye-opener. So I like that class. It's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I actually was so nervous. I sweat up in the goggles and my hand because it's the adrenaline of shooting the gun and then the backfire that you don't realize how easy it is to miss too. And so that was interesting and fun. And then they had scenarios on a big screen where you could interplay and react to what was going on in the scenario, which was interesting. I mean, at that point, after you having the experience out here in the parking lot, you were more apt to maybe reach for your gun, but you have to follow the lays of the law as far as if they don't have a gun, you can't have your gun out. But you kind of feel more threatened, like you never know what's going to happen. And then we got to experience simulators and a high-speed chase. They gave you scenarios of like going to assist your partner and driving down the street in this huge driving simulator where people who didn't stop and pull over and maybe another police trying to join you, and here they're on a high-speed chase as well. I personally didn't do very well, but some people made it to their destination and was able to back up their fellow police officer. we got to go out to Laser Village, where it was like a row of makeshift offices and businesses, and like a 7-Eleven and a restaurant and just businesses, and made it feel like as if it were a real live downtown area, and how the police would be able to respond to a situation like that.
And the last night, all of those weeks come together. Week 14, we do what's called night problems. And we are able to utilize some portable trailers where we set up a scenario of a crime that's been committed inside that home or that house, and someone is called and we're responding. So we set it up, we put them in groups of 2, so they have a partner, and they go to the call and they handle it accordingly. Knock on the door, Orange County Sheriff's Department, did so-and-so call. And then the scenario unfolds from there, and they do the best they can to solve that scenario or to handle that scenario with the limited information they've been given in 14 weeks.
Why don't we start from the beginning? What happened? What precipitated all this? Why did
She wanted the remote. She didn't
Come
get
on,
it. She
you gotta
hit
tell me
me.
you guys don't fight over a remote. You guys beat each other up over a remote?
She hit me. She
How long you
bit
been
me. What does that have to do with it?
Too long.
Too long, yeah. She hit me. She bit me. I moved my arm away, and then she ends up with that. She attacked me over a remote.
I don't think anyone got shot, so they might not say it was as fun as car stops, but it's still an eye-opener. And what they're allowed to do as deputies, what they're not allowed to do. A lot of people don't want to put hands on somebody or interfere or get involved because that's how we're trained as human beings. We're raised by our parents to be polite and supportive and sympathetic, and sometimes that doesn't work in our world.
Right now it's 15 weeks. It's pretty good. We do reach out to every resource that the Sheriff's Department has. There's a lot of logistical aspects to the program that you don't think about. Getting the vehicles for car stops, getting the people who are off work, going off work, are available to fill the spots. Just the logistics of getting transportation. Again, this is a free program. The city budgets money to pay for all this. You don't pay for transportation, you don't pay for food, all those logistics. So that can be it's a lot of work, let's just say. Emailing people, making sure people show up. It's a 15-week commitment. People don't always show up. We ask, don't take a spot from somebody because of all this work that we do. If you're not gonna be committed and make all 15 weeks, then give somebody else a chance. But all those logistical aspects, getting the helicopter to land at dispatch during daylight hours when there's not a hot call around. And county's a big place. There's always something going on. There's only a couple helicopters in the county. Just to get that helicopter to land is a big logistical event. You kind of learn through the program about the dangers of an officer that hopefully you can apply to yourself regarding your public safety. Maybe you learn something here, maybe it might save you for the future. In my opinion, the city hopes that, number one, we get a little bit well-rounded citizens that don't violate the law, and again, that become our advocates. Most of the city council has been through this program. So they don't just learn about the Orange County Sheriff's Department law enforcement, they get a little bit of taste of what the city's about, some of the little bit of the civic government maybe. But the city they want respect for the officers. They want to see, positive. It's also a great communication tool where they can come talk to us. They can come talk to them. They can relay their experiences about the Citizens Academy. They can always, we're approachable. I know I look like a big ugly ogre and I'm scary, but I'm just a father of 2 and a nice guy.
We have a handful of individuals who have finished the academy and gone on to go into a sworn academy for us, or gone into our reserve academy, and we've had just as many go on to be uniformed volunteers for the city of Laguna Niguel. So they are definitely giving back. The Citizens Academy is a unique opportunity for you to get up close and personal and find out what the department is able to offer to the residents. And if you've ever wanted to know what happens when somebody gets pulled over, or what happens when I call and a deputy, it takes them an hour to respond to my house. If you've ever had any of those questions and you want those answered, or you just have a general curiosity, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those individuals that want to learn more about the Orange County Sheriff's Department and the services we provide.
My name is Bob Helgeson, and as Class 20 President of the Citizen Academy, I welcome you to our graduation.
Thank you. Thank you. Turn around, face the booking photo. Congratulations, sir. Face this camera over here. I'm glad you. Thank you again. Turn around and face the camera, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Turn around and take a picture right here, sir. Thank you. Turn around. And we're gonna take a mug shot here.
I don't know. We're trying to talk her into it.
Thank you. Thank you. Turn around. We'll face the cameras. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Face the booking photo over here. We're gonna put that up to jail. So Dave's one of our volunteers with the radio. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Oh, yes. City volunteer, thank you, sir. Stand up here. See you tomorrow. See? Get some sleep tonight. We got lots of tickets to ride. Thank you, ma'am. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I just came back from vacation. I got a little twang in my voice. I'm sorry. Sir, congratulations. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Let's get some pictures over here. Another radio guy. Another radio guy right here. He's a quiet radio guy, though. 224. When do you start? You don't know? Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Here's your lovely certificate. Congratulations. Congratulations. I'll take a hug. On your graduations, I'll give you a gun and a badge. Cool. Smile on her face just makes my day. Thank you.
Want to learn more about the real Orange County or to submit your story for consideration? Visit our website at 24korangetv.com.